What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners video for today's 8-game MLB main slate, courtesy of Awesemo.com. We got some quality pitching on the slate. We've also got some quality hitting, and even better, we have some terrible pitching too. So you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give you guys a chance to win a free month of Awesemo Plus. All you have to do right now is like this video and comment your double dong pick down below. Yesterday, somebody got it amidst the barrage of mediocre Yankees who hit double dongs. So let's keep it going today. Right now, like the video and comment your double dong pick down below. But for now, let's get on to our first corner on today's slate, the top pitchers, and Chris Sale going against the Angels should be the top owned option industry-wide. Sale gets 4 implied runs against him. He's expected to be the #1 owned pitcher on DraftKings with 35%, on FanDuel with 25%, and on Yahoo with 38%. Sale's 34.6% K rate and 3.1 xFIP remain extremely good for his price tag, but a 3.9% on run rate he allows, and the Angels' 17.3% K rate versus left-hand pitching can cause some concern, given some of his recent struggles. It's hard not to love Sale at that price tag, but the Angels don't strike out a bunch, and Sale has struggled some. I don't mind going with Sale at the field's level, but I wouldn't want to go much more than that. John Gray at San Diego should also be popular today with 4.2 implied runs against him. Gray will be the #2 owned on DraftKings with 31% and on FanDuel with 18%, while he'll be #4 owned on Yahoo with 31%. Gray and his 3.9 xFIP and 24% K rate get a park upgrade in San Diego, with them worse versus right-hand pitching and giving up a 26.2% K rate on the year. Gray's been solid. San Diego can offer up some strikeouts, even though they do have power. They're worse versus righties and think it's a good spot to go to Gray at a reasonable price. And Madison Bumgarner versus Philly should also be a bit popular today with 3.8 implied runs against him. Bumgarner will be #3 owned on DraftKings with 30% and on FanDuel with 17%, while he'll be the #2 guy on Yahoo with 33%. Bumgarner has pitched fairly deep into games with a low 1.2 whip and serviceable 4.2 xFIP, as well as a 23.8% K rate on the year. So in a pitcher's park with an inconsistent Philly team on the other side, it's really not a bad spot for him. Bumgarner is priced reasonably for this spot, so I do think it's okay to go to him with the field, but I think I may be inclined to differentiate a bit because there are some other guys at this price tag who I don't mind at all at less ownership. On to our next corner, the top stacks on the slate, and the Boston stack going against Dylan Peters is a team that's going to be owned by everybody. Boston gets 6.5 implied runs, which are a slate high, and Peters has been brutal versus right-hand batters going back to last year with a 5.3 xFIP, a 215 ISO allowed, and a park that's also going to aid righty power. Boston will be insanely high owned as a full stack, so mini stacks or targeting lower owned players, given that Peters' overall bad 1.6 whip and 50% K rate is there, is a logical move. Boston looks to be stupidly highly owned so far today, so find ways to differentiate, mix them with a lower owned stack or lower owned pitching, or find some lower in the batting order guys who won't have as much ownership on them. And a Cubs stack versus Alex Wood will also be popular today with 4.8 implied runs for them. Wood's had a tough 2019 in a limited sample size, but he did a decent job suppressing power with a 127 ISO allowed going back to last year. Nick Castellanos, Chris Bryant, and Javi Baez were all over a 152 WRC plus versus left-hand pitching in a hitter's park, and they seem worth the ownership, but full stacks seem overowned given that Wood has a low 1.2 whip overall. It's hard to ignore how good those 3 Cubs hitters are against left-handed pitching, especially in a pitching-friendly park, but I think mini stacks are the move here because the full stack looks a bit overowned right now. The Cincinnati stack versus Cole Hamels should also be popular today with 4.7 implied runs for them. Hamels has been decent on the year, but a park downgrade versus a Cincinnati team whose worst hitter versus left-hand pitching is Tucker Barnhart with a 93 WRC plus. It's going to be a tough spot for Hamels. Hamels could be interesting leverage if Cincinnati's ownership stays high, given a low 1.2 whip and 2.1% home run rate allowed, but the 176 ISO that he gives up to right-handed batters can be tough versus a righty-heavy Cincinnati lineup. Cincinnati has looked good with the addition of guys like Aquino to the lineup, but I still think it's going to be a bit high owned, so I don't mind going to Hamels if the ownership for Cincinnati stays where it is right now. Now on to our next corner, the lower owned options on the slate, and a Yankee stack going against Thomas Pannone is one of those teams. The Yankees get 6 implied runs, and they have a 207 ISO and 112 WRC plus versus left-hand pitching on the year, and one of the top home run parks in Major League Baseball today. Pannone has been barreled at a high 10.5% rate in 2019 with a 5.4 xFIP, so even though his 22.9% K rate is decent, he should give up some power here. We just saw yesterday versus Baltimore that any Yankee can go yard multiple times in a game at any given moment. The spot versus Pannone is one where there should be some power in a power-friendly park. And Matthew Boyd versus Kansas City also interests me with 3.9 implied runs against him. Boyd continues to struggle with power with a 4% home run rate, but his 32.6% K rate and 1.1 whip offer big upside versus Kansas City. Kansas City has a 142 ISO and a 76 WRC plus versus left-hand pitching, so if Boyd can survive the power of guys like Jorge Soler, Whit Merrifield, and Cheslor Cuthbert, he could have a solid day at low ownership. Even though those 3 guys do have power, there's really nobody in the Kansas City lineup who strikes fear in your heart. I think this is a pretty good spot for Boyd, even though that power that he gives up just does seem to happen time and again. And a Toronto stack versus Domingo Germán seems like a key spot for me in the slate with 4.5 implied runs for them. This seems like a key pivot spot in the slate with 7 Toronto hitters above league average in K rate, but Germán giving up big power with a 203 ISO overall. Toronto has really started hitting, but Germán has a 27% K rate and a 13.3% swinging strike rate that can destroy these young hitters or get smoked by their 6 hitters over a 202 ISO versus right-hand pitching. Again, this is one of those spots where we're going to have both sides of the action here. I could see the logic for Toronto. I can see the logic for Herman. I think it's going to come down to ownership for me today. And Dallas Keuchel versus Miami is shockingly a bit interesting with the 3.6 implied runs against him, which are a slate low. Keuchel is no good strikeout pitcher with a 17.8% K rate in 2019, but he pitches deep into games while Miami has a 78 WRC plus and 129 ISO versus left-hand pitching. Keuchel projects well with our projections at Awesemo.com, and he keeps the ball down exceedingly well with a 19.6% fly ball rate and 141 ISO allowed. It's a not great but reasonable price tag for Keuchel, so I'm going to have some exposure to him today. This is a solid spot versus Miami, and the fact that he pitches deep into games should be a big asset for him. Now onto our last corner of the one-offs, and let's get weird with it right away. Let's go with Brandon Dixon versus Jorge Lopez as the first one. Lopez has been barreled a slate high 11.1% of the time while allowing a 195 ISO overall, while Dixon has a 221 ISO on a day where Detroit has a high for them, 5.1 implied total. There are no hitters above a 100 WRC plus in Detroit's lineup, so maybe Lopez can have a decent day here, but I do think Dixon has power to take advantage of the power that Lopez gives up. And another cheap-ish day for Aaron Judge versus Thomas Pannone also interests me as a one-off. It seems like Judge can't keep watching everybody else hit double dogs in the lineup with his 271 ISO and 168 WRC plus versus left-hand pitching, while Pannone gives up a 51.2% fly ball rate to right-handed batters. Every Yankee's hitting home runs besides Aaron Judge recently, it seems. Eventually he's got to get on track, and the spot in Toronto is about as good as one as you can find. And JD Martinez versus Dylan Peters is also a one-off who interests me. Martinez is the obvious pick with his 194 WRC plus and 353 ISO versus left-hand pitching going back to last season, while Peters gives up a 215 ISO with a 17% K rate versus right-handed batters. Sometimes you have to take the obvious play, and JD does stand out in a league of his own, that Boston lineup, who has some quality hitters, but JD's power is too much to ignore versus Peters. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on today's slate. So please right now like the video, show me some love today, and also please like the video and comment your double dong pick for your chance to win a free month of Awesemo Plus. Yesterday we had just one guy guessing Gio Urshela correctly. You could see him right here, Bob McIntyre. So congrats, Bob. Email me at chris@awesemo.com to collect your prize. And for everybody else, if you want to join Bob at the pay window, like the video and comment that double dong pick down below. But if you don't land on the Gio Urshelas or Kyle Higashiokas or the Cameron Mabins of the world, you can also use this promo code Switch and Hedge for half off your first month of Awesemo Plus. Get all the ownership projections, the player projections, the deep dive column, the lineup builder, the top stacks tool, a million different things that'll help you make better MLB DFS lineups every day. So use that promo code Switch and Hedge right now for half off your first month of Awesemo Plus. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I'm here with you guys every day, and it's been a really mentally exhausting week for your old pal Spags. So go help me out, give me a follow, cheer me up, bring some joy to my life, and go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I'll be back tomorrow with another Four Corners video. So thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. So enjoy your day, guys. Good luck.